ladies and gentlemen, my panel will now consist of the following guests. Please give them a warm welcome as they make their way to the stage. First up, we have Timothy Sherman. He is the Vice President and CTO of Global Security Sales Engineering at Cisco. Please welcome him. Great to see you. Thank you. Please take a seat. Please be seated. Next, I would like to welcome to the stage Miguel Ángel Cañada. He is the head of National Coordination Center for the Spanish National Cybersecurity Institute. Warm welcome to him. It's great to see you. Next, we have Suk-Kyoon Kang. He is the CEO of Anlab. Please welcome him, ladies and gentlemen. And completing the lineup, Dr. Megat Zuhairy, the CEO of the National Cybersecurity Agency of Malaysia. A warm welcome for him. Gentlemen, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here today. How are you enjoying GCF 2024 so far?
Absolutely amazing, I have to say. First, the hospitality. Second, the mission of GCF is incredible. So it's an excellent start so far.
Thank you very much. Miguel, let me ask you, how are you finding GCF so far?
Well, thank you, Rega, first of all, and thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here again in Riyadh. It's very exciting to see all the achievement that you presented before. So congratulations about that. And it's a very big opportunity in order to share different point of view for different activities, topics that then help us in order to thrive on cybersecurity, which is something that we need to do a lot.
Absolutely, lots of worthy work to be done. And let me come to you, Suk-Kyoon. How are you finding GCF in Riyadh this year?
Yes, I am working in Anlab as a CEO. It is my second time in GCF. So I joined first time last year. So this is actually a second time. But it is really my pleasure to have an opportunity with the site. Is number one cybersecurity provider in Saudi Arabia. So it is, I am so happy to work with the site from this year. So very nice for me. Thank you.
Thank you. We're delighted to have you back here again. A very warm welcome back. Dr. Megat, welcome. How are you finding GCF?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be back. This is my second time here in GCF. I was here last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is always an honor to come here and share Malaysian experience and our progress so far in cybersecurity. So hope this session could give some insights of what we've done in Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, as we've been hearing this morning, there are exponential opportunities and challenges, in equal measure perhaps, in the cybersecurity space. The threats that we're facing are on an unprecedented level, and yet technology and innovation is racing faster than we can keep pace with. So let me come to you individually first to get a snapshot of where you stand with your individual companies or indeed countries in terms of how we best harness the growth, the power, the economic potential to really catalyze the cybersecurity innovations and trends that we have at the moment. Dr. Megat, let me come to you first.
Thank you. Malaysia has been investing in IT or digital transformation since 1996, when we introduced a multimedia super corridor in 1996. Then the requirement was actually whether we have enough infrastructure, IT infrastructure, connectivity, and so on. But now, fast forward 2024, before that was about the contribution of digital economy was about less than 5%. Now we are at 23.3%. We're aiming at 25% next year of our GDP. Quarter of the GDP are contributed by the digital economy. I think what always when it comes to investments coming into Malaysia, the main priority of them is whether to see whether there is a conducive environment, specifically on cybersecurity, has become number one. Then was just infrastructure, policy, but now it's all about how much or the direction of the country on setting up an infrastructure that provides a safe and resilient cybersecurity or cyberspace. We've seen that directly when, for example, Google invested $2 billion this year, Microsoft 2.2 billion, AWS 6.2 billion, and just recently, today, Oracle announced $6.2 billion investment in Malaysia. It's always about how much a country or Malaysia's policy direction and providing an environment that not just infrastructure, secondly on protecting the cyberspace, and thirdly understanding the future threats from advanced technology like AI, even quantum computing per se. So in that aspect, I think not just us going towards a direction on how we're protecting ourselves, but actually providing a safe cyberspace for investors, economy, but also to the people. Yeah.
Thank you. Suk-Kyoon, you were nodding away when there was an emphasis on security and safety being national priorities for Malaysia. From your point of view, what is your key focus right now and what's in development?
So in cybersecurity market for UNEP, I think emerging opportunities closely related to AI technology. By 2027, 70% of all cyber attacks and data breach will be related to Gen AI. So by 2025, more than 35% of security vendors are going to help users utilize application and data through chat features based on large language models. One of the key objectives of AI is to achieve security efficiency and make people's life easier. Also, we need to understand AI will play a critical role for both attacker and defenders together. So UNEP is actually focusing on AI for security as well as security for AI together. So UNEP is training is AI model with over 1 petabyte of data, including files, URLs, and behaviors. We are processing 10 million detection and analysis every day. So our AI precisely identify a phishing email and text message to fight a scam campaign. And also today, so we are running Gen AI called UNEP Any. So UNEP Any is the Gen AI embedded in our products such as UNEP XDR solutions. It supports, as you know, a chat assistance for threat analysis and response to make a security solution more intelligent. So we will continue to utilize AI technology to proactively detect, respond, and predict cyber threats.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Miguel, talk to me from Spain's perspectives. What are the priorities and the greatest challenges you're facing right now in the cybersecurity space?
Well, clearly, without cybersecurity, there's no digital transformation. Mm-hmm. So definitely, we are working on 2 different areas. First one is all the matters regarding capacity building. We need to increase the capabilities of our ecosystem, of our entities, also the citizen, because at the end of the day, the main factor, the main problem still is the human factor, so we have to work a lot on that. But cybersecurity is not only a security issue, it's a business opportunity issue, it's a great opportunity. We have globally a lack of talent because the growth of this market is too big to absorb people to work on it. So we are trying to make sure that we support, we play this role of facilitator of the ecosystem. And when I talk about the ecosystem, I'm talking about industry, but I am also talking about research, which is a crucial part. If we are talking about frontier technologies, technologies, we have to make sure that we are covering all the bases regarding research. In our case, for example, we have been investing more than 300 million on research in order to bring to the table not only the companies, of course, the startups, but also the universities, the research center, because we need to make sure that they collaborate. We need to break this gap between the research and the market in order to make sure that all these new technologies has some kind of translation to product or services. So that's something that we have to try to do as public entities. So for us, it's key this interaction, reduce this gap, and also to increase the investment on research. We are talking, artificial intelligence definitely is something that is changing everything, let me say it that way, most generally, but it's changing a lot because it's a technology that does not depend on the people. Generative artificial intelligence is going to be building their own space. We don't know about this. Actually, when Europe released the first legislation on artificial intelligence last year, we were talking about two different components. I mean, this piece of legislation, and we are legislation a lot in Europe. We are the champion of the legislation. Sometimes, I don't know if this is good or bad, but we are doing that. This piece of legislation is having two different axes that are important at the same time. First pillar is the citizen. The citizen should be in the middle of the legislation regarding artificial intelligence and other deep technologies. And the other thing is the risk management, because we don't know how the development of artificial intelligence is going to be. So we need to make sure that we have this framework in order to do that. So from the legislation, the regulatory part, we have to continue doing this in this with this sense of trying not to cover all the bases because it's impossible. We have to increase the research and investigation and development, and we need to make sure that they are connected with the market. Definitely, this is something key. The cyber criminal has, I always like to say this, but I hope that the audience understand in the sense that I said. The best research and development department is in the other side. They have a very clear incentive. We are talking about 8 trillion million, I don't know the number, the figure is too big, no? So this cybercrime market, sorry about that, is too big. So we have to make sure that we are at the same level, at least at the same level. So we need to increase our investment on that, and we have to make sure that the market is connected with this research part. And that's all that are the main focus that we are doing, not only in Spain, but also at the European level. Just let me add something. The European Commission launched this European Cybersecurity Competence Center. This body of the European Commission is specifically focused on research and development on cybersecurity. The rest of the activities of the research, the different topics of research is not part of this, but we create this because we understood that this is quite essential. We have to make sure that the research, and we are not the champion on research in the world, but that the research is something important, something key in our future development.
Thank you very much. Timothy, where there's research, there will be development. And of course, from Cisco's point of view, what is in the current pipeline? What's further down the line? But also, what is the size of the problem that you feel you need to address right now? How are you supporting?
All right, so I'll start that we're all in this together, right? We have to work together. Cybersecurity is a foundation for a thriving global economy. And if we don't work together globally, if we don't have standards globally, if we're not working from the private and the public sector on funding research together and building solutions that are standards that allow us to have less complicated environments out there in the field and simplify, the biggest part is every time there's a new attack, there's new products coming out and this, and it gets very complex, right? So how do we build this sandbox environment? How do we build this environment where companies like Cisco, companies like Palo Alto, Fortinet, we work together to make sure that there's standards. We can differentiate on the user experience and that, but I think we've got an obligation as security vendors, first to the children that we had saw earlier, and to the companies, right? So our thoughts are, how do we create a better open environment? How do we make sure that we simplify the ability for, cybersecurity should be a given right for everybody, right? So how do we get rid of cost when we need it? Decrease the cost, decrease the complexity, research, working together with private and public sector to come out with solutions that are global, right? We have a lot of European standards. We have a lot of all these kinds of standards. We need to work together better, and that's why I think this forum is absolutely amazing. When we think about what's going on, how young it is, and then starting to expand out and beyond Saudi into different parts of Europe and getting into the US, and then the ability to collaborate on a lot of these new documents coming out. So I go on and on, I apologize. But I feel like it's, research is key. We're gonna fund, from a Cisco point of view, well over $1 billion in the AI area. We brought up AI, Mr. Kang, from using AI for security, but we need to secure AI also. So there's a whole new attack vector for LLMs that are living out in these public cloud infrastructures that have different ways that can be architected, engineered, changing guardrails. So we've got to look at security for AI as well as AI for security out there, and that's a number one area. And the other thing with AI, done right with human intervention, we have the capabilities to get rid of mistakes, right? The biggest problem is we deploy things incorrectly and we leave holes. So how do we fix that with technology that we have, right? Orchestration, sorry.
Thank you very much. We're a little bit tight on time, so I'm going to come to each of you individually for your wish for GCF 2024. We're speaking about the need for greater PPPs, cooperation between private and government. Why aren't we there yet? This is not the first time that we have wanted this, nor talked about it. Do we need more policy, better frameworks? How do we foster both economic growth and innovation at the same time? Your one wish, speak truth to power. What would you like?
Yeah, I think it's coming together at the higher level government and making sure that we have, my one wish, right? How do we bring all of the global government leaders together with these along with the technologists to make sure we make the right decisions on those policies together. It's kind of a unique, different situation. So yes, that's my wish, that we all talk the same language when it comes to security.
That's a good start. Dr. Megat, what would you say?
It's always about shared responsibility, but sharing or understanding or collaboration, there's an element of trust. Trust is very important, regardless how advanced the technology that you have, regardless how much knowledge or skills that you have, trust has to be there. So that is why it is important to establishing a safe and peaceful cyberspace. We have to trust in each other, especially when you have any technology. You have to share and explain and also share the actual fact of such technology can provide. So by understanding the technology, the trust is there. Using such technology will actually create more collaboration with industry and government rather than just wait what the industry tells the government what the industry can offer. So I trust.
Trust.
Yep.
Thank you. And very briefly, Miguel, what is Spain doing to both foster innovation in the cybersecurity space, but also bolster economic growth?
Well, we need that the innovation, the guys that have the capability, the real capacity to innovate are the private sector. So we are trying to play this role of innovation. We are funding at the European level also. In the case of Spain, I mentioned before, more than 300 million for the last 2 years in order to create this, to bring to the table all these companies, big companies, medium, small startups, public bodies. So we are doing this at the European level. ECCC is creating this European community with all the stakeholders involved. And I think this forum is a very interesting example of the different initiatives that we have, because we have to act, in this case, globally. I always like to say that in our case, we are working, we are a Spanish entity, we have a Spanish scope, but we are working globally because the cybersecurity perimeter, in our case, is too big. In every single country has the same, no? But we, of course, has a very big focus on Latin America and Latin, for obvious reason, but also North Africa. We are working here, and the idea is, again, try to replicate this initiative to bring to the table the different actors. Private-public partnership is essential because, as I said at the beginning of this intervention, the private entities, the private capabilities are the only ones in order to go faster in that.
Thank you. The last word to you, Suk-Kyoon.
Yeah, in case of Korea, so its government include cybersecurity as one of 12 strategic technology. So government support investment and talent development together. Over 5 years since 2022, so government plan to invest around 23 billion US dollar in the strategic technology, including cybersecurity and quantum computing together. And also key area in cybersecurity include AI, cloud, supply chain security as well. Including zero trust. Also, South Korean government aims to enhance the country's digital resilience by developing this technology. So, for example, we are closely working to KISA, Korea Internet Security Agency, to enhance national cyber threat response system based on MITRE ATT&CK framework. So we have already a lot of MITRE ATT&CK evaluation project for 5 years. So we are collaborating with the government on this project together. So we provide the technical experience and expertise as well to improve the country cybersecurity capability. It is one of example of a PPP program with UNEP and government cases. Yeah.
And I wish we had more time to hear more about it, but thank you very much for sharing that. Gentlemen, we have run out of time, but we have much to discuss over the next 2 days, so I do hope that our audience will take full advantage of networking with you in the days to come. Thank you again for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, my fantastic panel. Thank you. I'm sorry it was so brief.